What's going on, investors? Dust here from Investments. Today I want to bring you a video on why Theta will more than 10x in 2021. Now I know what a lot of you are probably thinking immediately. 10x? It just jumped from about 50 cents to $3. That's crazy. But let me explain why it's still going to 10x from here. And current price today is at about $3.73. To do this, I'm going to need to explain a few of the fundamentals and economics of the token to kind of paint a picture, so bear with me if some of this gets kind of into the weeds. It all makes sense at the end, but I kind of need to explain the operations before we get into it and how these new updates will trigger a massive run on the price. First thing I want to clarify with Theta is that a lot of people think it's trying to just become a streaming site like YouTube or Twitch, but that isn't the case. Theta is actually trying to become a decentralized infrastructure for the future of streaming. What that means is independent providers such as you or I or corporations such as Google, Sony, Samsung, Binance, Blockchain, or GuMe will become the data servers and share our computing resources to fuel the streaming of the future. The next important bit to note is that Theta is a two-coin economy, meaning there's Theta token and the TFuel token. And each one has its importance in the ecosystem, and I'll explain this in a minute. Theta tokens are used to become a contributing member of the network and share computing resources. This is done by Theta token owners running a validator node or a guardian node, in which they lock up a certain amount of Theta as a stake and share computing resources. But each of these nodes require a certain amount of Theta as a stake. So for instance, a guardian node requires a minimum of 1,000 Theta tokens. Now here's where the genius of the two-coin system comes in. Typically nodes such as Dash or any other master node pay you in the native currency, and this has always caused a selling pressure to exist on the markets. Node operators are always going to want to cash out and secure some profits or pay for operational cost with the coin, and to do so they need to sell it. Theta node, however, pays you in an entirely different currency called TFuel, and this negates that selling pressure entirely. So now what is TFuel? So TFuel is like the internal currency that drives Theta. It's used to pay node operators, streamers, and viewers. It also needs to be purchased by video platforms to utilize the infrastructure and pay rewards to the users. Okay, so we covered the basics of the coin. Let's get into what this next update allows. And if some of these concepts are foreign to you, don't worry. You can still get some solid takeaways at the end without understanding it entirely. So Mainnet version 3 is set to release in the spring of this year. So I got the Mainnet version 3 white paper up right now. And typically in cryptocurrency, Mainnet releases or updates are heavily pumped in price action, especially in bull markets, as news heavily drives this market. This update, however, also has some insane capabilities that people are sleeping on right now. Without a doubt, once they wake up and see these, Theta is going to blast off. It has so many of the keywords and the key features that people look for in cryptocurrency. First thing I'm going to introduce off this Theta version 3 white paper is edge nodes, and these are actually already operational. I think it's a beta format, but I could be wrong about that. But these are similar to guardian and validator nodes in the sense that you're contributing computing power to the network, and it's going to be rewarded in TFuel. But the interesting part of this is you don't need to stake anything to operate these. You just basically share computing power and you get rewarded in TFuel. So anyone can get paid for just letting this app run on your computer, utilizing its resources. What this means is anyone with internet and a PC can get paid while they sleep. To add to this edge node, they're also introducing elite edge nodes. And these are the same thing as edge nodes where you will share computing power, but users will now need to stake TFuel on top of it. So this is the first time they're talking about staking TFuel, and we'll explain why this is a great contribution to this network ecosystem in the summary at the end. So what do these new edge nodes and elite nodes allow for that's so game changing? Well, these nodes are going to pave the way for smart contracts, NTFs, trustless crowdfunding, and task computing. And also it'll allow the average Joes to engage in the ecosystem and earn money from just using their PC. This added functionality is huge for Theta, who's looking to become the infrastructure of streaming. Imagine being able to get paid royalties out of a smart contract for content that you've created with no work involved. It just happens. Or for instance, Theta Token, which has a partnership right now with Lionsgate Films, it creates NTFs based on your favorite movie or your favorite streamer. Or you can take advantage of the Theta network and use it for task computation, such as people trying to fold proteins in COVID-19 is the example they gave in here. But you could use it for anything. You could use it for DNA, you could use it for the Hubble telescope, the collider. Really kind of opens the door for Theta to become the world's decentralized server and computer. So not only for streaming, but for computation as well. All right, so we've explained the edge node system, but there's one other important feature in this next mainnet update, and that is TFuel Burning. TFuel is going to begin being burned to reduce the supply of TFuel. So how this is going to be initiated is 25% of each payment to the network will be burned, as well as smart contract gas fees. And what this is going to do is eventually reduce the supply. So here's kind of where we're all going to tie this together. If you take an economics 101, you know less supply with equal demand equals higher prices. So now what we're going to see with TFuel is TFuel burned on two fronts, and this is going to eat up the supply. But we're also going to see users start locking it up in elite edge nodes to earn more TFuel. This should equate to less liquid supply on the open markets and in turn a higher price for TFuel. And now that begins a cycle which leads us to Theta Token. These Theta Token Guardian node or Validator node operators will continue to be paid in TFuel. However, higher price of TFuel means more profitability to operating these nodes, which in turn should drive more people to purchase Theta tokens to operate the nodes. Now here's where we're gonna get even more interesting. We talk a lot about supply, but a little known fact to Theta is it has a total supply of 1 billion tokens. But if you were to look at what is actually available right now via guardianmonitor.io, 2.85 million Theta is staked in Guardian nodes and 301 million is staked in Validator nodes, which means 587 million Theta is locked up in stakes right now, which equates to about 58% of the total Theta supply. So less than 50% is on the open market for sale or available to the average Joe for purchase. If this demand increases, the price is going to blast off as there's minimal supply. To put that in perspective, Chainlink, for instance, has a supply of 410 million at the time of this video, and they're sitting at a current price of about $27 per coin, which I don't think is too far-fetched. I think these changes coming in the version 3 mainnet are really going to set off a feedback loop that is first going to impact the price of TFuel and bleed into the price of Theta. And it's going to raise the price of both of those coins. Theta is one of those projects where I got into because of the strong fundamentals, the strong real-world use case. And it's one of those coins where if all the fluff and BS of crypto evaporated tomorrow, who would be left standing with a real-world solution? Theta is one of those coins. The decentralized computing network with all the capabilities I mentioned make me believe Theta is the real deal, and this year is going to be huge for Theta. $30 per token is my best bet for Theta token by the end of the year, and I think TFuel will be about 50, maybe 70 cents. I can see more and more usage pile onto this already existing project as other companies jump on the bandwagon. You know, we've already seen Google, Sony, and Samsung and Binance. These are huge names jumping in here. They already have deals with Lionsgate's Chainlink, Google Cloud, NASA. These are huge names to have deals with. So I think $30 a coin will just be the tip of the iceberg. But that's where I see it headed for 2021. So let me know your thoughts below. Leave a comment. Let me know what price you think Theta will end up being at its height in 2021. Let me know if you think I missed anything about Theta or if I explained anything wrong or what excites you about Theta. Leave it in the comments below. If you're interested, join up on the Discord. I also have a Patreon link. I just started up the Patreon. It'd help out to support the channel as I'm unmonetized at the time. And if you haven't already and you got this far, don't forget to subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers and trying to hit that monetization level. I'd really appreciate it. So till next time, later.